First, you must be, then you must do, and then you will have. The thing is, most people get caught up in the cycle of working hard to have more and then doing more to be more without ever taking time to focus on their being, without taking time to focus on who it is you are being. The problem with this cycle is that it never actually ends, right? You can always work harder, you can always have more, but it's never enough, is it? And the more you focus on those external factors, what ends up happening is you start neglecting the internal factors, and those internal factors actually drive your success. That's where the concept of being, doing, and having comes in. When you focus on your way of being, what you're doing is you're setting yourself a foundation for success. And then when you align your emotions, feelings, physiology, and language all together, you create a powerful state that allows you to take on whatever challenge, whatever goal, whatever objective you have set out to accomplish. So today I'm going to speak to you about being through an ontological lens. And ontological means it's a philosophical term meaning onto, meaning, or should I say on, which means being in Greek, and the logical is from logia, which means study. So it's quite literally the study of who you're being, the study of the nature of existence. And that's the lens that we're going to take on today. And through this lens of ontology, we'll look at how your emotion, how your language, how your feelings, and how your physiology or your body dictates how it is you show up in the world, and ultimately dictating the style of the results that you're going to get. I'd like you to consider that our words are controlled by our feelings and emotions and the bodily sensations that we receive at any given moment, at any given day. When we're feeling stressed or anxious, our language tends to be negative and our body tends to be tight and squeezed. And conversely, when we're positive, we tend to speak in a manner that is upbeat, bubbly, and our body feeling free and relaxed. Now, the problem is what happens to most people is that they get stuck in a cycle of feeling, speaking, and ultimately being negative. So what happens is a feeling will reinforce a thought, which will reinforce your language, which will reinforce the language in which you use, right? Or it could be a feeling that you feel, and that feeling reinforces a thought and then reinforces how open and receptive you are to conversations, to communicating with other people, to accepting brand new opportunity. And that vicious cycle can be really, really hard to break free from. However, by applying focus to how it is you speak, applying focus to what it is that you're experiencing inside your body, then you have the opportunity to break that cycle. You have the opportunity to be with, accept, and transform that which you're experiencing, as you're no longer ruled by the feelings, ruled by the emotions, yet you're aware of them, and allow yourself to almost calculate on a moment-to-moment basis what it is you would like to achieve out of the situation you're in. What is it you would like to have as the outcome, rather than what it is that your body is signaling to you about the situation. And the concept we're speaking on will allow you to tune into the truth of your body, the truth of your emotions, the truth of your feelings, and also the power of your language, the power of your ability to be swayed by what it is that you feel in turn. Ultimately, allowing yourself to, number one, just have the knowledge. Number two, have the knowledge and be able to take action on that knowledge. And ultimately, to transform your life or not. I'd like you to consider a life where you are able to create a creative and more enjoyable reality or perception of the world. Imagine having more energy, feeling more confident, and being able to handle any stress that comes your way. Imagine being more effective when challenges come your way. Imagine being more effective in your relationship, being able to communicate your needs, being able to hear, reciprocate, and come to resolutions for other people's needs. Imagine what it would be like to be able to authentically connect with others and trust yourself in the process of doing that and not being afraid of it. That is what you will get if you focus on transforming your being, or should I say, when your being is transformed. Ultimately, all because you'll be working from a place of congruency rather than the hustle and bustle of culture, the hustle and bustle of never being satisfied with self, So as I said, we're going to focus on 3 things. We're going to focus on your language. We're going to focus on your body/feelings and emotions, and then we're also going to focus on your physiology. Language is actually a sneaky tool, right? It's so powerful because it shapes our reality on a moment-to-moment basis. You see, language can how most people use language is to describe reality. How most people use language is to just communicate what's happening around us. Yet another use of language is to generate, is to create, is to reshape your worldview into something that's more empowering, something that's more constructive. Some people may call it delusional, yet it's a strategy, it's a tactic. It's almost like looking for the silver lining. It's almost like looking from that space in which you can grow from. So having a shift in your language will allow you to cultivate and maintain a congruent, aligned sense of being, because you'll be then focused on consciously creating your reality. You'll be then focused on what is it that is coming out of your mouth. Is it constructive? Is it, as my mum would say, building, or is it destroying? Just consider that. Is what you're speaking on right now building or destroying your future, the relationships around you, what it is that you'd want to create in the world, And for some people, this may sound like, oh, lie or be delusional. No. It's actually about your ability to realize the fact of the matter of the situation and then create on top of that. Accept for your responsibility and then create on top of that. Because what you want to do with your word, with your language, is to build a foundation of concrete, of brick, of solidity. And that starts off with your language. It starts off with your communication. It starts off with the things that come out of your mouth. Because if the things that come out of your mouth are congruent, they are of integrity, they are of purpose, they are of realness, right? Then you have somewhere to build from, because you can trust that the words that are coming out of your mouth, you can trust that who you are to the rest of the world is someone who's reliable with their word. We'll get to your feelings, emotions, and actions later, but as long as what comes out of your mouth is true to you, your circumstance, your situation, it's of your heart, not of facts, then you are one step closer to mastering your being. I'd say another thing is to notice how it is you talk to yourself, and about others. Are you building or are you destroying? Do you treat yourself how you would treat your best friend? Do you treat yourself the same way you would treat a stranger who's looking for something that they've lost? Do you? Once you shift your language, you start creating a more constructive reality. Okay, now let's talk about emotion. Emotions play a crucial role in who it is we're being, the way we show up. Because for most people, depending on how you are feeling predisposes them to the type of responses and reactions that they're going to be giving out to the rest of the world. If you're feeling grateful, you will act and talk differently as to if you're feeling resentful. So it's just important to pay attention to your emotions so that you can eventually learn to manage them. And the number one thing, or the number one step to learn to manage your emotions, is to be aware of them. It's that practice of noticing, being present to what your anxiety feels like. What body part does it mainly come from? What happens to your hand? What happens to your voice? What happens to your feet? That awareness of your feeling allows you to start to manage and from your ability to notice, once you get used to the feeling, once you not necessarily get used to the feeling, are aware and present to that the emotions that you're experiencing are inhibiting you from achieving the goals that you'd want to achieve, regardless of the situation you're in, because sometimes we have to get up and work when we don't want to work. Yet for most people, what gets in their way is how they feel, and that's fine. Yet I'm talking to you if you want more than that, if you want to be able to take on those challenges. Remember that. So once you've noticed them and you're aware, you're present, you want to start doing daily practice. The number one thing I can always recommend is deep breathing. When no one's there, before you get angry, being able to slow down your system. You can also practice mindfulness, doing a body scan meditation, allowing you to feel and get in touch with those emotions that are around you. And lastly, quite simply, by engaging in activities that make you sweat, or activities that you enjoy and bring you peace. You see, the reason why you'd want to be aware of your emotions, the reason why that you'd want to watch your emotions, the reason why you'd want to manage your emotions is so that you can achieve and do the things that if you didn't, you wouldn't be able to do them, because you'd be have been inhibited by your thought, right? And through the process of awareness, being able to watch and not judge and be free in that which you're experiencing allows it to go, because there's no longer anything fighting against that feeling. There's no longer a resistance. There's no longer shame. There's no longer fear attached to those feelings, because you're human and those feelings will come and they will go and they will come and they will go again. Yet there's an understanding, there's a purity, there's a peace in and amongst yourself, and trust in amongst yourself that these feelings are here, they will go. Yet who it is that you'd want to be and the outcome that you'd like to achieve from this situation would require you to be a certain way. And most times it's you being a person that doesn't listen to your emotions. Of course, sometimes it is. Yeah, sometimes it's not. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe bad. And finally, let's talk about your body. Your body is crucial in perception, learning, and change. Your posture, your muscle movement, your muscle tension, and breathing all play a major role in our being. And that's because long-standing moods and unhelpful beliefs are actually stored inside our body. They're stored in your muscle memory, you can call it that. They're stored in your genetics, and your genetics can be transformed. Don't worry, it's okay. So to change your body, you must first start by changing your being. And the thing is about the body is it's kind of like your feelings and emotions, but this time it's more physical, right? You want to focus on being aware of the experience of your body. Are your muscles tight? Is your posture weak? Is the way you project your voice weak, or is it strong? Do you have muscle tension? Do you have back pain? Do you not sit or stand with your head held high? Ask yourself, how do you walk? Notice yourself. How do you sit? Notice when you're with your friends and family members. How is it that you speak? How do you breathe? Is it shallow? Is it deep? Is it through your mouth, which apparently isn't a good thing? Or is it through your nose? How is your experience of your body? Notice it. And the things that I can think of right now to transform your being and your body is to imagine how you would like to experience your body, how it is that you'd like to be, right? Would you like to be fit? Would you like to be active? Would you like to be slouchy, slow, grouchy? How is it that you would like to be? And from that, you get your activity that relates to your body. Do you need to go for a walk to improve your posture? Do you need to do yoga to stretch out your muscles? Do you need to do some Pilates to increase your strength? Do you need to hit the gym? Okay, you don't need to do any of those, but I can guarantee that those are the things that will help you transform your body. Do you need to do some breathing exercise? Remember, first you must be, then you must do, and then you will have. And this whole entire time, I've been talking about all the things that you've got to do and sprinkling some being in there, right? And that's only because I wanted to leave the best for last, and that's your being. So in the formula of be, do, have, what it looks like is that first you must be a certain way, take on certain characteristics. Then you must do, then you must take action in alignment with the type of person that would be a type and way. And then through being, doing, you will have the desired results of the type of action that type of person would take. That doesn't mean immediately. Yeah, I can tell you it's pretty damn far, especially if you are a person of your word, of integrity, and you just do things how they need to be done. Because if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, for the majority of people, first, you've got to be confident. You've got to be curious. You've got to be interested in that which you must do. You must be serving, determined, and hardworking. Once you've cultivated that desire, that way of being that's required you to be successful in said business, then you've got to start taking action on that business. You've got to employ the incorrect type of people, or should I say, you've got to open the business first. And then you've got to employ the correct type of people. You've got to have the difficult conversations. You've got to have the easy conversation. And finally, you will have the results you desire. And some of you may be thinking, well, how long will that last? It will last as long as you continue to be that way. It would last as long as you continue to do the things that require that way of being, and then you have those things consistent. So just to conclude it all, who you're being is essentially a dynamic relationships between your language, your feelings and emotions, and your body. And by aligning those three areas, what you can do is generate profound learning for yourself and create deep constructive change. And what's so fascinating about that change is that it's never really just you that transforms. It's you and the lives of the people that are around you as well, because even the way you are being with them completely transforms. Yeah, it's quite magic. Remember, first you must be, then you must do, then you will have. So start by changing, transforming your way of being, and the rest will follow. Wherever you survive, you can thrive. And wherever you be authentically, you can become alive. Ciao.